Trident Wargaming. Build it, paint it, play it. Hey everybody, welcome back to another podcast, Trident Wargaming. That's right, we're back at it for some more bolt action. With me is Jason again. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. Very good. So, right back into it. We finally got our scenario games in.
Bam, 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 bam.
There you go. For any of you tuning in just into the episode or, just kind of checking out, not sure what we're talking about. Pretty much the Stalingrad Campaign book for bolt action. We finally got back to playing some of the scenarios, and we jumped right back into scenario 4 that we were planning on doing for quite a while. And so we'll talk about that today, kind of have like a little bit of recap, of the battle and this and that, plus the next battle as well. We had a lot of fun with it, so we'll be continuing to do this. I know Jason had a great time in the battle. So
that's foreshadowing, folks.
But yeah, so we'll go through that a little bit here quickly, and but first, as usual, we'll kick it off with a little bit of hobby time, projects, stuff we've been working on continuously, all that jazz. So myself, I've actually not really working on bolt action. I know, gasp, right? Oh my god.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I'm actually working on some Horse Heresy for our current event coming up in a couple weeks. So just kind of scurrying to get that army all prepped and ready. Kind of was a last minute thing. I wasn't planning on playing in it, but we had just a slight drop. So got to fill that gap in and get that going. So whole bunch of futuristic Mongolian bike riders called White Scars. So
nice.
Yeah. So that's what I'm into right now. And then, of course, always looking at other bolt action stuff too. But yeah, that's kind of my hobby at the moment. How's yours, Jason?
Procrastinating. That's my... right now.
I've heard that's one that's like on everybody's
list. That's what I've been doing. A whole lot of not much. Been like sick and stuff and busy, so haven't got a whole lot done. I'm hoping to get back to after this battle. I've got kind of a little bit of itchy paint finger. I don't know if that sounds right. I'm ready to paint again.
The painting trigger. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's good.
So hopefully I'll get back in the game right away here.
Very nice. Speaking of painting, actually on the weekend, it was the day of that we played. I had actually stopped into a local store, airbrush store, Maple Airbrush.
Oh yeah,
on the West End. I went there and checked out their new shop and picked up a couple new products, and one of them actually, if you're looking at watching this on YouTube, you'll see it's this one-shot primer by MIG. I haven't tried it out yet, but I've heard that it's literally one shot and you're good.
So aptly named.
Yeah, exactly. So figured I'd try that out, hobby-wise, see what it's like. I'll let you guys know on the next kind of podcasts and stuff. Or if you have questions about it, I can always do a little video. Also some AK paints as well, some blues. I don't know why, but I'm always on the search for blues, right? These AK blues. Now, I think it's because of my little attachment to like Ultramarines. But I find for like in Horse Heresy, the blue isn't quite the same as the blue in 40K. So I don't know. There's a bit more of a rich kind of color to it. But if it doesn't work out, at least I can use this blue for some French, for Napoleonic or something. So there was that, and there was a couple other products that I have bought in previous that I haven't used in a long time, but should be interesting to check out. I'll let you guys know what the primer's like. So, but yeah, I guess really that's about it for hobby time. The hobby front, not too much exciting things happening.
Pretty light on the hobby front here. Yeah.
Yeah, but we did talk though. We talked on Saturday about stuff too. Like I know I want to start working on some terrain, just because the weather's starting to get a little bit better, and you know my garage isn't going to be freezing cold. But going in there and starting to possibly cut up some hills and beachheads for the continuous, idea of the D-Day project. So, but as soon as I start cutting foam, I think that's when it's going to really start to happen.
Start to bite, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I have to cut some foam for a big hill for our next scenario.
That's right. That is right. We can talk about that too, actually. So, I was looking a little earlier right before the podcast because we actually never did tally up the score in the game. But so, we'll make this podcast really short. Jason won. Okay.
It was close. It was a close one.
It was not close at all. So pretty much the whole goal of that mission was to hold the HQ. I do have some pictures that hopefully I'll attach and post on Wednesday for this podcast. But the whole objective was to hold that HQ, gain like 3 points for it, and then we would gain points for Jason Soviets would get. I think it was a point per unit of mine he destroyed.
Point per unit, and I think, I literally have the book directly in front of me.
Yeah, and then 3 points for the HQ, and then 1 point for each German unit destroyed. And then myself, again, 3 points for holding the HQ at the end of the game, and then 1 victory point for each supply canister retrieved or recovered. So I actually tallied up the score, and it was 9-1.
Oh no!
For you, of course, right? Which meant, so I only had actually 9 order dice in the game. So his forces did wipe me out to a man. So, but it was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But the first 2 turns, the setup and everything. Looking at the corridor that I was able to set up in, I kind of positioned myself where most of the terrain was, like where most of the cover would have been, right? Trying to utilize maybe the houses and the fences and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, you played really tight to that because I don't know if people have looked, but you basically had the whole center of the table to basically set up on.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you played up to 18 inches in or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. 18 inches from the short board edge, and that was your corridor that you're able to deploy in. And how the terrain was set up, Jason made some pretty cool hills and whatnot that really gave a different perspective and like aspect to the actual table compared to most of the time we play. There really isn't any, elevation to the tables except for like inside buildings.
Yeah.
But having the hills and stuff, there was really a different feel, and like you've seen different tactics with it, and just even positioning of certain units. It was like, shit, I can't fire on anything because of the hill, right? Because your line of sight was blocked.
Yeah, it was actually really open outside of that village.
Yeah.
So you had to hug the rear side of the hills and then kind of pop over when you wanted.
Yeah.
Which made it interesting and a bit different. And
you're not used to it, right?
Yeah. And I mean, also, I was allowed to come in on the short table edges either side.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of guys.
You did.
I can't remember exactly. I think I had like 68 like infantry. And that's not counting the teams and anything. That's just infantry squads.
Yeah, you had the bodies for sure.
Yeah, I had 4 inexperienced squads. And I had NKVD fanatics. And I had 1 veteran squad. And my NKVD and my veterans were all SMGs. And my veterans, I gave the fanatic rule because I was allowed to off of this list at a point or 2. I can't remember, 3 points a model or something. Which normally, I don't know. I don't know. Fanatics is also obviously a great rule, but 3 points is kind of steep. But I thought for these guys, so basically the idea being I have 2 units of fanatics, all with SMGs. One of them's a veterans. Gives me a little punch to get in there. Can kind of hide them. I was thinking, kind of move them up in behind the massed infantry and pop out when I needed to.
Right.
And that's kind of not how it worked at all. I put all my cheap infantry on one side and I put my 2 hard-hitting units on the other.
Well, it worked out. It panned out, right? So
it panned out, yeah.
Because I know in my force, I think I had probably just under 40 infantry, and that's including like my commander and my 2 teams, right? So like I didn't have nearly as much, but I did have 2 larger tanks, the Panzer IVs. So having those, I figured, well, they'll be pretty good machine gun platforms and whatnot, plus higher armor that you can't really touch with your infantry. But that didn't happen too well. Like it didn't really take effect. Especially positioning to. I tried to have the tanks on the roads, but kind of covered with some of the buildings. One of them was positioned okay. The other one kind of caught off guard. Especially with your KV coming on the other side, right? So
yeah,
but
I was able to for the people at home, I was able to come on the table edge and basically get a rear shot on his tank with my KV-1.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, it did not pan out. Basically, I was just shooting at you and clunking it off your armor.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
But actually, maybe it did work out because really, that first shot was the one that I hit, and then I rolled a 1 for the penetration roll. So
yeah.
But after that, I was able to. It took a couple turns to get the kill, but I was able to finally take the dice out of the thing every time, causing pens, taking your dice, just getting I think I got immobilized and
twice, actually.
That's how I kill. Yeah.
So it was, like you had to take out that Panzer IV on that side, because otherwise, like, it was either pinning down your infantry, or it was actually going to gun down your infantry. One way or another, right? So concentrating your tank's firepower on that was exactly what it would have been doing anyways. So yeah, getting immobilized on the road and then just kind of watching the infantry pass me by, as it's like, crap, they're out of my arc now. Right?
Yeah.
And then the immobilized getting the immobilizing result and going down. Okay, well, there goes his turn. And then essentially the next turn, same thing. And that was it. And then that whole side, I had infantry inside the HQ, but they didn't really get to do too much. And then my other infantry squads were on the other flank trying to hold off the wave of infantry that was coming as well. And for the first 2 turns, like, I had a good feeling. It was good. Mm-hmm. Felt good. I did some casualties on your side. I got a whole bunch of your units going down and taking pins, stuff like that. Pretty much stalling your advance, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I will say I do feel I did good at one thing I'm normally not that good at, that I think I did well this time, was I think I used the down order really to my advantage. It did tie me up for a turn. You basically pinned that whole, not pinned, but you basically had that whole flank. One side of the board, I had my 40 inexperienced infantry come on that side with the commissar and the officer,
right,
and machine gun. They're all coming on that one side, the right flank, and you did tie them down for a whole turn by me going down strategically. But I think it really worked out. It pulled you out. You got out there. You used up all your dice, and you caused a couple of casualties, but not really that many. No. In comparison to the number. And so the next turn, I was able to get up and start punching. And it didn't help, too, that you pulled initiative a lot.
Yeah, I did.
Those first couple turns.
I think there was the one turn. It was like, I don't know, 5 in a row.
Yeah,
something like that. And then and to top it off too, is you got to remember, in this scenario, you are limited in your ammunition, so only half of your units can fire. So only 5 of my units were able to fire out of the 9.
Yeah,
and then also using up the fuel reserves that I had on the vehicles, which didn't really take too much effect, like, because I rolled so high. I think it was like, I don't know. I think it was 1 off of getting max fuel reserves for the vehicles that I had anyways. So that was kind of, the first 2 turns were not too shabby. And then third turn hit at the same time. The first supply drop dropped right into Jason's lap.
Dropped directly onto. I should have taken a casualty from it. That canister dropped onto my machine gun's head. Yeah.
So instantly, like right there, you just go and claim it and get a point from that, because it was too far away from me and way too close to his units for me to just go out in the open, right?
Yeah.
And so there was that, and then right after that roll is when the whole game changed.
Yeah, I did have a good artillery strike. I would like to say an excellently placed and well calculated and thought out artillery strike.
So, yep. Like Jason said, it was, my units were so clumped around the HQ, around my deployment.
Mm-hmm.
So, as Jason was saying there, I'll let him continue.
Anyway, it hit due to my excellent planning and skill. And I think I got an 11 inches or something for the
yeah, that's right.
The size of the barrage. So I was able to hit all of your units except for your one tank.
Yep, that's right.
On the far side. And I got pretty good on the pins. It was 3 pins basically for most of the units, and then I hit your other tank, your Panzer
Panzer IV
B or whatever.
Yeah, with the light howitzer.
And that went kablooey, which also helped a lot. Gave my infantry a lot more confidence. Because that was the guy that was staring him down. And he's the guy that caused the casualties, really. Your infantry, I think, maybe killed 2 guys on that flank.
I don't think I killed a squad in that. Oh, no, I did kill a squad in that game. But
yeah, you killed one from my assault that I did against your guys in the church.
That's right. But again, like, artillery strike came in and just it essentially, like, it completely changed my game, my whole game plan, right?
And really, what happens before the NASA? Because I always have to defend this artillery rule, because people will come in and they'll say, "See, I told you, it was a good strike, but that's not what did you in." What did you in was the following turn when you went to rally. Rightfully so. That's absolutely what you need to do when you have 3 pins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like blackjack. You don't hit on 17. If you have 3 pins, you rally. It's just automatic. But you failed 2 of them or something.
Yeah, too many.
2 or 3 out of the 5, I think there was, rally test. So that is what is really what. So not only did I get that, turn where you're pinned and you had to rally, you went down with most of those guys and then had to try to rally again, which eventually worked. You did rally, but
it was too late, because guess what happened?
I was all up in the grill, and with this list, you got a second artillery barrage, which didn't blow any tanks up, but did blow up the HQ.
Yep.
The big church there.
But again, it was like, again, you placed it, and it, like, again, hit those same units as well, right?
Yeah.
Just more pins. Like, towards the end of the game, I had one unit that was, like, pinned out.
Yeah, one unit got pinned out, which doesn't happen very often. No. It's pretty rare for units to get pinned out.
So it was,
and that was because you failed to test with that guy again.
Yeah, exactly.
So, because which, I mean,
yeah, it's part of the game. It's not much you can really do about it, like, when that happens, right? And you try to do the best that you can with what you got, but ultimately, like, in that scenario, you definitely felt the pressure of, like, the Soviet force really outnumbering you. In hindsight, like, did I need to take two tanks? No, I didn't. Right. You're forced to take one. And it didn't have to be a Panzer IV or anything like that, but that's what I had and wanted to try.
I actually think the Panzer that blew up because of the artillery barrage, the B or whatever, was the right tank to take. In knowing that I was probably going to be taking a ass load of infantry.
Yeah.
That thing is a beaut with a whole mount and machine gun and that 2-inch. I mean, it's a 2-inch template. It's not crazy, but it's a fairly cheap tank compared to some of the others.
Yeah.
And you get that template weapon against me. That was a perfect tank. The other one, yeah, I don't.
The thing with the AT guns, it's either you're either using it or you're a machine gun platform, right?
Yeah,
that's essentially what happens. So, for that many points, moving around mobile with machine guns, like I would have just been backing up from your infantry and just firing the machine guns, kind of ordeal, right? But when you have a threat of a tank on the board as well, it's kind of like, okay, well, I kind of have to put a shot into him. A little lackluster though on the mortar team and the machine gun team that round for me.
Yeah, the mortar did nothing.
No, and the machine gun team, I poorly placed it. I don't know what I was thinking, but I think I kind of thought maybe that you would have had more units coming from across the board than the side of the board.
Yeah, no, I played right as deep as I could.
Yeah,
and came on both flanks fairly heavy because I was able to. Because here's one of the big disadvantages you had, is that you had to set your army up, and then I got to come on. So I got to see exactly what you had. I could, put her down how I felt it needed to go, and you had to guess.
Essentially,
so, and I don't think your deployment was bad at all. I think that machine gun didn't end up being useful, but it could have. I mean, honestly, there's not a whole lot of places you could have put it, because if you would have put it, over in that like little chicken coop area, I probably wouldn't have put my infantry up so aggressively. And maybe that would have, just that in itself would have been a good thing, but or if you'd put it on the other side, I wouldn't have. I would have changed what I did based on it. So I don't think there was a whole lot you could do.
Probably in the
and that's one of the disadvantages of a machine gun, is it's kind of a, like, you put it down and you can move it. It's kind of a pain. Like, it's a pain.
Yeah,
it's not as mobile as, say, like a vehicle.
I would have wanted. I think we talked about it too, but putting it up in the church tower would have been a good spot, but it probably would have got sniped out anyways.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I had that. I know it sounds silly. One sniper is terrible in this game, and this, I forget the unit you're allowed to have, but you can basically, it's a unit of 5 dudes, and you can take 2 sniper rifles.
Mm-hmm.
That second sniper shot is killer. I don't know what it is, because if I have one sniper and he shoots 6 times in a game, I'm going to hit maybe once, despite that not obviously being how it should work. But this unit, because I have 2 shots, you think, oh, well, maybe I'll hit twice in a game, right? 2 snipers. No. I'll hit almost every shot. Because it's awesome. Yeah, because that sniper took out your
took out the mortar team.
The mortar team.
And then I think it actually started taking out it took out the infantry inside the building as well.
Started causing pins and pegging them off.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So they did work, right? And like your whole army actually did work, so which is really good.
I can't complain, actually. There was no unit that didn't do what I hoped it would do. So, it worked out really, really well for me. My inexperienced infantry was slogging up. They weren't very fast, because I took that whole turn basically where they just kind of went down to try to preserve life, so I could push a little harder the next turn.
Yeah.
And then I had my veterans and my NKVD went in for the assault. Over on the other side, went in, rip-roaring. Think they took out your officer and your machine gun team, and
Yeah, that's right.
they're poised to strike the HQ church before it blew up.
Yeah, it's the units I had were just kind of the regular, here infantry, SMG rifles and LMG, which they laid down some firepower. It just again, you going down really negated that, right? And that happened a couple times, plus being all pinned and whatnot. And then, like I said, the other two teams, like the mortar team and the MMG, they didn't really do anything. My tank, it just seemed I was on the back pedal the whole game.
Yeah.
Except, sorry, I shouldn't say the whole game, but I would say after the first two turns, I kind of felt like I was on the back pedal. And then once I can see and felt that, like, shit, I can't really do anything. Like, I have no actions really to do to, like, offensive actions against you.
Yeah.
That's when it was like, okay, like, I need to rally. I need to get some boys back to the fight. And it wasn't happening. And that was it. Like, Soviet victory right there, man. Like, it was like, holy shit.
Oh, right? Totally. When you failed all those tests, I mean, the blood was in the air.
Yeah.
It was
the
really
sharks were coming.
Yeah. It was, and it would have taken a turn of me having equally or worse luck than you had on that turn. For you to come back from, I think, because it tied you up just enough for me to be able to get close, and then I could let loose with, like, I think there was 40 billion shots. I can't remember.
40 billion shots.
They're not super effective, but pin. Plus the pins you got from that second barrage,
the strike. Yeah.
And I mean, you were just stuck. You're just waiting to die, until I got right up close and personal, and then it got really brutal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, I will say I am proud of myself because I'm an idiot. I quite often would have charged in those situations when I got close and died. Like, it would have been the bad choice, but I made the right choice and just shot you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the inexperienced. Just because I really play veteran. When I started playing with the airborne. That was my first real army, and so that's kind of what my play style tends to be, is really aggressive.
Right.
I have to remind myself, no, these are not airborne. I cannot run across the open and stand up to fire sometimes. I cannot charge willy-nilly. I really need to be careful. These guys are terrible.
True.
So I'm glad I had the discipline not to do that and just shoot you in your face.
Yeah, and it worked,
like friends do.
Yeah, like friends do. So not only did Jason's son, kick my butt in the previous week, but Jason also invited me over to his place to kick my butt too.
Double whammy. Suck it, Andy.
Yeah, there you go.
Sportsman of the year.
Yeah. That's funny. So that was mission 4. So I think Jason is up 3 wins, and I think I got 1.
Yeah, you won at the, what was it, the tank factory or the workers' village? I think it was the workers' village or whatever it was.
The one where I had to cross the
had to cross the bridge.
Yeah. So the next one.
No, it was the Spartanovka.
Oh yes, that's the one.
That's the one you got.
That was the giant table that we played on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. So the next one, the next scenario 5. So the 4th Army's Southern Thrust. It's kind of a breakthrough, I guess, attempt. But scenario 5 is Hill 154.2, September 10th, 1942. So in this one, looks like the objective is, I think, to hold certain amount of hills, I believe.
There's three objectives. One is your main objective, is a hill, and then you get to pick 2 other hills or areas of hill to be secondary objectives. And you start with them, you hold them, and then I have to come get them. But this time I have a 2-to-1 advantage in points.
And I'm also dug in.
And you're dug in, so it is going to be brutal. Because I'm not going to be shooting. Like, I'm not going to hit you. Right. So it's going to be me moving up that hill and assaulting you.
Because it's gonna be it's gonna be a bloodfest. Like, essentially, it's I mean, depending on how many points we play. But yeah,
well, it's 2,000 points to 1,000.
1,000, yeah, exactly. And no heavy artillery pieces or forward artillery observers may be taken.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be literally like infantry.
Swarms of infantry.
Yeah, I may have to buy more infantry. For this
well, you're good. You only get 1,000.
Yeah, I was looking at the forces that you can use, and I get the gates of Stalingrad. And of course, in that theater selector, you are allowed to take tanks as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do I necessarily want to in that situation? Probably not. But there are options, right? So, but it looks like, where is it? I just had it here. I do know that they give you a second MMG option. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So yeah, 4 infantry squads, 2 MMG teams, mortar team, flamethrower team, the usual headquarters, sniper, anti-tank. So they do have artillery. You still can take artillery. Just actually, no, you can't. What does it say?
I can't, but you can.
Yeah. Germans, theater selectors, this book, civilian squads can be taken. Huh. So, yeah, it looks kind of like the army selector itself doesn't really have any kind of really special rules or anything. Just looks like maybe a slimmed down version of just a reinforced platoon, with the exception of being able to take 2 MMGs.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have your options, Panzer II, Panzer III, Stugs, stuff like that. So, 0, transport, same kind of thing. But I mean, having the dug in special rule, like, I don't know, I want to probably take advantage of that with my infantry, right? Just make sure that you got some good firing lanes and keep on firing and whatnot, and wave after wave after wave of, I'm sure, Soviet infantry. I'm sure I'll probably be bringing some of my infantry for Jason to use.
Yeah, I think I only have around 90. So
yeah, I think I've got a fair bit too. But yeah, it looks like I deploy my entire force on the board first, and then your forces are not deployed.
No.
They enter from the edge. So determine So control of hill 1542. End of the game. Control contested. Need a second clan points for it. So it's worth 4 points. The other hills are worth 2 points. And then 1 point for enemy destruction, pretty much. So, yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath. Definitely. This should be a fun one. I'm definitely going to take some time building an army, though, to beat Jason.
You're going to get some revenge here, I think. Yeah. I gotta slog it across that table, too.
True.
Because your objectives look like they're basically a foot in from the edge.
Yeah.
So
on the map here, yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
So I got to slog it across 3 feet of table before I can even get to the objective. And you get to sit on high ground.
That's where the German machine guns, I think, will be quite advantageous, especially with the extra shots. Because that's how, when I play my German forces, no matter what German force I'm playing, I'm always kind of looking at, that's their strength, right? Is the machine gun rule that they have is one of their big strengths, because they tend not to have a lot of units on the board.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're usually regular and above. Right? For the majority of the time people are playing as Germans. So I'm always kind of looking, okay, how can I maximize my shots? How can I maximize my MMGs, LMGs, stuff like that. So kind of why I gravitate maybe to a tank sometimes, just for the MMGs, 12 shots or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
No, and even transports too. Not that I put the second MMG on it or whatever, because it's rear facing, but just having the MMG on that transport itself helps out a lot. And it essentially becomes just a mobile gun platform as well. So, yeah, I try to utilize that. As for the infantry, really don't have that much choice in the matter, because you're taking that anyways. Like the LMG, there's not too many units that have dual. Maybe the Panzer Grenadiers might have it. I'd have to take a look at that again. But I tend to take the Here infantry, the regs. They tend to do not too bad for me. So, but yeah, hunker down. I think that's what's going to happen this round.
Yeah, you're playing the old-fashioned dwarf gun line.
Yeah. This is essentially going to be like a World War I fight.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Right.
Running up the hill. Now I just have to build the hill.
Yep, pretty much.
Sweet.
That'll be fun.
So brutal. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Well, lots and lots of infantry.
Yeah. No, it'll be a good fight. It'll be exciting to see and get some pictures of just the infantry on the board, right? Because when you see that many on the board, it's pretty impressive. On both, the whole battle, right? See, like other games, as an example, just the past week we had our last slow grow game, or slow grow meetup for Horse Heresy, and Bill had brought his force, and he's all infantry, right?
Yeah.
And when you bust out 80 infantry on the board, 80 Space Marines on the board, and guys are like, holy smokes, this is the Heresy, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see that, and seeing that, this Russian wave coming in. And that's what I like about these scenarios. It's not always the same point level.
Yeah.
So you get to actually see, those moments, right? And it's like Soviets, 2,000 points, and it's just this massive army of infantry. It's holy shit. What am I going to do? Call into your terrain. So,
I'm coming for you, Andy.
Yeah, exactly. Zukov and his troops coming. Yeah, but yeah, it should be. I think it'll be fun. We'll definitely. It'll probably be a lot longer than our last game, I would say. There's just going to be a lot more units on the board to move and turn the turns, right?
I know my turns are going to take a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially it's 5. I get 500 points more. You still get 1,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the restriction of the no forward observer and the no heavy artillery.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it no heavy artillery or just no artillery?
No, I think it says no heavy artillery.
So like either way, that's a couple of point sinks, you know. I mean, they're useful, but I mean, that's just less things I have to spend points on, and I can only take one tank. So basically, a couple of teams maybe, but honestly, am I going to bring a machine gun? You're dug in on the other side of the board. Probably not. A machine gun's kind of useless in this battle for me.
Yeah, you're literally your miniature says it all for that you have.
Yeah, he's running.
They're literally going to be running with that machine gun until they get into a position that they can actually fire, which
isn't. And then even when I get to fire, I'm going to need 7s.
Yeah.
Right? No, thanks. That guy.
Niet.
Yeah, exactly. Niet. That guy can stay at home. So it's basically all my points are going to be into infantry.
Snipers might be help. Right?
Yeah. I don't even know actually if I can spend 2,000 points on one force
org. Well, maybe, yeah, I guess.
Because I can only. Yeah, I don't even know if I can do it with. I think I'll fill out a whole force org.
Well, even if we could even chat about that too, like, you know, when later on kind of thing, you know, if you want to kind of chat about the forces that we're bringing in and stuff. That's always fun to do too, right? Like, you know, this is what I'm bringing, right? And different ideas could be for interesting battles. It's always cool to kind of collaborate with the forces and make it thematic and whatnot, which the game's already like that anyways, right? But yeah, no, any ideas? Throw it at each other, that kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. Siberians is what I got to bring.
Yeah. So it should be good. Excited to do it. We'll probably, I don't know, maybe in probably next 3-4 weeks or so, we'll try to get it in.
Totally.
You know, let it give us some time to assemble some forces if we need to for some extra stuff. You know, hobby-wise building, all that stuff. I know we have Easter coming up and then have a tournament coming up, so kind of occupied for those weekends and whatnot. So, yeah, we'll take our time with it, get some terrain built, some more units, tinker with some armies. Should be good. Should be fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So
sweet.
So that's our plan for our next battle. Fighting over that hill. It'll be good. It'll be bloody. There'll be pictures. There'll be stories.
They'll be crying. Me. Yeah. It'll be me crying.
With my luck, it'll be me. So, but yeah, let us know if you guys have played this mission. It'd be cool to hear feedback on it and what you guys have done, or you know, results, or any of those like special moments that something just wowed you, you know, in your game kind of thing. We always love to hear those little war stories. So even you know, send us pictures or post stuff of your tables. I'd love to see your tables. I just love seeing people's terrain that they play on, and you know,
man. Give me some ideas I can steal.
Yeah.
it is really what I
Yeah.
need.
So, and we have one of the gentlemen in our group, Larry. He's such a hobbyist that like they play tons of scenarios with their little crew, and he's always posting pictures of what he's painting and terrain that he's building, and it just it's pretty cool to see. Like he had a D-Day board going and stuff like that, and
they've been going through. I don't know if they're going through them in order, but they've been going through the scenarios out of the D-Day book.
Yeah. So it's good to see that. Like it's kind of that dream of being able to do that and having a spot for that, to do, like myself. Mm-hmm. I don't have very much room myself to do that, but even making terrain and even bringing it to the shop and just, having, play it on a Saturday or something, or head over to your place and play, like having that specialized terrain is pretty cool to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I love it.
But in time.
And that's the other thing I love about these scenarios is it gives you a focus for your terrain.
Yep.
Like right now, I already want to build a big, giant, stupid hill. Would I have built a big, giant, stupid hill for, just a pickup game? No.
Yeah.
Is it going to be awesome to have a big, giant, stupid hill? Hell yeah.
But it's nice because you can use all this stuff for other games too, right?
Oh, yeah. Big, giant, stupid hills. And you never get to play on big, giant, stupid hills.
Nope. No, we do not. But
BGSH.
But there's a lot of scenarios to go through. I mean, this is just kind of the first that we're kind of, trying to get through and play these missions and whatnot. So lots of fun to be had, and we'll share it with you guys, what we're doing and stuff. So be prepared for that. Other than that, I think that's really about it until our next episode, which I still got to plan out, figure out what I'm going to do. But I'd like to mix it up. Oh, I think actually, you know what? I think we'll be going through the American book with myself, Bill, and Tony. So we'll be setting that up, kind of going through it like the Army overall review kind of thing, that I've been doing lately. So I'm sure that'll be a 2-parter, which will be good. So yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed the episode. Tell us what you think. Let us know. Show us some pictures. Show us some models. Love to see all that stuff. Check out our socials and whatnot, Instagram, all that jazz. And yeah, keep on chucking those dice. Build it, paint, plate, and having that fun. And hopefully we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.